So this is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra in titanium silver blue, and I'm going to go ahead and give you my few days later honest thoughts on this phone so far. So what is up guys, Nick here helping you to master your technology, and let's go ahead and talk about the price. S25 Ultra, you can pre-order it right here. It is retailing for $12.99, and a lot of people like to look at it at that price point, but the fact of the matter is a lot of people do not pay that price point, mostly because of the instant trade-in values, which go up to $900 depending on your phone that you are trading in. And you can get up to $300 in Samsung credit. So you actually can get some free cases, some free chargers, some free accessories. Some people even have mentioned they got free Buds Pro already. So if you want to get your hands on some of these Galaxy Buds right here, sometimes that will be included if you choose that option. So it's once again a sweet deal. And I think this is one of the reasons why a lot of people stick with Samsung, is because they give you instant trade-in credit. So you don't pay nothing, you just send your phone, and then as long as you didn't lie about the phone that you're sending, they're going to give you your credit and you move on with your day. You don't got to wait 6 months, you don't got to wait 3 months, you don't got to wait forever to get your trade-in credit because the company's backed up. They're pretty good with this stuff. So that's one of my favorite things about it, and I'm happy to report that with the trade-in values, I do think, again, this phone is going to be worth the price, especially considering that they're throwing in a lot of storage for cheaper, including the 1 terabyte, which is typically going to go for $1659. It's going for $1419 right now. And then you can get the same, you can get double the storage for the same price, the 512 gig, which is the one I personally ordered in titanium jet black. So this one Samsung sent out for review, so shout outs to them. But the titanium jet black will be coming soon to the channel. You'll see it here soon. Now, talking next about what I feel about the build quality a few days later, I do think that it's really nice. They've actually made the front glass a little stronger this year. The back glass is pretty similar. Also, the flat sides, titanium still. I love this. So overall, the phone just feels very sturdy, strong, and it just feels like a very tough build right here. I will say that just like any other slab phone, while it probably wouldn't be a problem to rock this without a case, if you threw out a screen protector, I would definitely recommend maybe like one of the anti-reflective ones Samsung's offering. It's still a premium phone, so I'm putting it in a case either way, but it still feels very, very sturdy and strong, and I do think it's going to be one of those phones you could use for several years, and it's not going to take too much abuse in terms of its overall body. It is a strong feeling phone, so I definitely have to mention that. IP68 dust and water resistance on board, and I do like that this build still does have a SIM card. We don't have to only do eSIM. I love this. It also has a stylus that doesn't have Bluetooth, which is a big thing that people are talking about, but you really have to ask yourself, how much are you actually using them Bluetooth features? That's the real question, and that's going to be very subjective and personal to the person using it. Personally, I never really used the Bluetooth S Pen features too much, except for when it came out initially. I think it was on a Note 9. I was playing around with the pen to take photos, but these days I only use it for what they actually still have on there, which is just jotting down notes and stuff of that sort. Would I like to see Samsung bring them back? It depends. Maybe they will for people who do really want it. There's a lot of people saying they do want it, and I'm not commending them for taking away features. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying that I personally don't use them that much. So what I'm saying is you have to ask yourself, how much do you use those Bluetooth S Pen features? But other than that, they still have all the basic, drawing and writing features that you kind of really want to use the S Pen for, and you could still use it to navigate the phone and stuff of that sort. Now, when it comes to design, some people are saying, they didn't like the corners last year. Now Samsung rounds the corners. Now they're saying they don't like these corners. I mean, you change something, people complain. You give them what they want, people complain. There's just no winning. So I wouldn't take too much stock in the people complaining about this. It's really down to you. Once again, what do you like about it? Do you like it enough to make that purchase? That's really what it's going to come down to. Not that people are over here complaining that it just doesn't look as good as they would have hoped for. Personally, I think it looks pretty functional and pretty darn nice. Actually, I think it's more or less not as photogenic as maybe some of the older Samsungs, but in hand, this thing feels very nice to hold. Mostly because the flat sides give it a nice grip. It's pretty easy not to slip out of your hands. The corners don't dig into your palm anymore. And I think they've done all of that while retaining a phone that still has its own unique look. Some people say, well, no, it just kind of looks like a standard mid-ranger. No, you got to see this phone in person to really get a better idea of it. Definitely does not look like an A series or anything like that. It has more of a rectangular look with slightly dipped corners here. Is it the most standoutish looking phone out there that they have ever made? I don't think so. But is it still practical and premium? I do think so. I will say I do agree with somebody's statements about some people are saying they don't like the black camera rings. I personally think this will look better if it matched the color of the phone. I do agree with that point. So I would like to see Samsung make those camera rings back to the color of the frame or the phone to make it kind of just stand out a little bit more. I don't agree with the statement that it looks cheap though, because in person they actually have like some shiny material around the camera rings, so they don't look cheap to me. They just don't look like they blend in very well, especially on these colors that aren't black. So that's something I will state. I do like that they got rid of the IMEI numbers down here. That looks cleaner to me, and it does say Samsung right there, which you can actually feel out. The overall back still looks similar though. Overall though, I would say if you're looking for a phone that has like a very standout looking design, this one is probably not it, but it definitely has a very nice one. So if you want the Samsung ecosystem and you still want a premium flagship phone, it's still going to be a really nice option for you. So a few days later, I do have to say the display is still very stunning. It's very sharp. It does have QHD support and it's anti-reflective, so it still has a leg up over the competition, and you still have that extra brightness mode, which a lot of phones don't let you do. So you can get even brighter brights on your screen without having to trigger it with outdoor brightness if you want to use that. It also has adaptive refresh. And of course, you have different vivid modes, natural modes. You can play around with that kind of stuff. Screen resolution was at Full HD Plus out of the box, just like some of the older versions. So do go ahead and remember that, or you're not going to have the sharpest looking panel out of the box because they're going for saving battery life. You have to turn that on. But other than that, I do like the reduced bezels. I do feel like the reduced bezels on here actually make the phone feel like it's slightly like wider. Even if it might not technically be super wide, it just feels like the keyboard is more spacious because of that reduced bezel. It's very slight, but it's something. So just keep that in mind. You might like that. Also, it just feels like you're nearly holding an all screen. It actually has a really good screen to body ratio. And still, again, Samsung does employ one of the smaller punch holes on the smartphone market today. So if you're looking for a nearly all screen, this is definitely going to be it. But it's not fully all screen. So I'm still looking forward to the day that we get cameras good enough, or the UDCs are good enough to be placed on the front, or maybe hidden in the bezel. They're small enough, the camera sensors. I want to see full screen. We're almost there. We're just like an inch away from the dream. My dream is a full blown screen, like the whole phone, just all screen. We're almost there. You know, I'm kind of there already, but we're not quite there. We're like 92% screen to body ratio. I want like 98 or 99. I know I might be reaching a little bit. Some people are gonna say you need a little bit of bezel. You need a camera there so you can get better quality. Maybe technology will advance far enough where we won't. We'll get to the point where it's full screen and we don't got to deal with any complaints about anything or any things on the edges, nothing. And we'll find a way that it won't cause accidental presses and stuff of that sort. But this display has been fantastic so far. Super smooth, very nice. And I'll showcase more and talk more about it in my full review. But overall, I think you're going to be pretty darn happy. Samsung makes some of the best out there when it comes to this department. When it comes to the software, I do have to state that One UI 7 has really made this phone much smoother than it's been in a long time. Also, I do have to say this phone in software really goes to town with the AI. One of the best new features I like is this audio eraser feature that they mentioned in the event, and I've actually tried it out. I'll show it to you in the full review that I'm coming with soon. I'll show you, like, I actually did a video with this. It actually works. So it eliminates distracting noise from videos. So like when you're taking videos in the wind and stuff like that outside, you can actually use the editor to knock the wind out. That's amazing because you don't need to take a microphone with a dead cat anymore if you just want to take some simple video with your phone and just like use the AI to get that wind noise out. It can make for some really easy to understand and listen to videos that you want to share with your audience. That is pretty amazing. Also, drawing assist right here is pretty cool if you want to mess around with the S Pen with drawing assist. We do have the Now Brief, which is another new feature that we're seeing here. And you go ahead and click this and it'll tell you, good morning, how's your day? Let's go ahead and show you the expected weather today. And then you can go ahead and hit settings here. We'll go down to content to include, and you'll be able to include more things into your day. So this is a great thing to look at in the morning. You can see how your day is set up, what's coming, and I think it's a really awesome new feature. I do like that one. Other than that, they're just kind of like building and enhancing on the older AI features that were already on the Galaxy S24. And if we hold this, you have Gemini integrated into the power button. If we go ahead and take a screenshot, you can click right here, and the AI will go ahead and let you kind of like draw around anything and kind of see what it's about. You can see right there, you can go to the maps. There's a lot of things you could do with this. You could do a generative edit. So there's a lot of AI stuff on this software, but at the same time, they also brought a vertical app drawer, which I tend to like. And also it's smoother and faster. And we also have a nice quick control area that was updated as well. So this phone has really nice software with the One UI 7, and it's going to be updated for several years to come. So I have to say it's a real highlight of this phone. It's one of the reasons why I really still love the Samsung Galaxy S series, because it matches up well with the Galaxy Tab. It has a really good ecosystem with the buds, the watch. It's a pretty nice overall package. I think you're going to quite like it. And it still finds a way to stay a little bit more simple than before, while still retaining a bunch of features like their Galaxy Store themes and stuff of that sort. It's a really nice cohesive package, and I think a lot of you are going to love that about it. And it still retains a lot of advanced features, so if you're into advanced features, you're still going to like this phone quite a bit. And performance. I can't go on without talking about this. We've been doing some speed tests. You see the benchmarks are very, very good on here. Let's go to history. You'll see they're getting ridiculous scores. These are like MacBook scores on here. These are like M series iPad scores on here. So 8 Elite overclocked here for the Galaxy, has higher clock speeds on all the clusters and cores. And we also do have better graphics performance and a better vapor chamber. So when playing things like games, you're going to have no issues on this phone. It's going to stay pretty cool to the touch, which it does. And it will, this one still will throttle back if you're playing demanding sessions, like very extended sessions. But it doesn't seem to affect my actual gaming experience too much, as I still seem to have a pretty good amount of gaming time without it feeling like it's getting laggy. It just doesn't seem to do that. So regardless if it does that over extended sessions, I still think this is one of the better phones out there for the chip, the GPU, and those things. So it's going to be a thumbs up for performance for sure. Battery life so far, I can say, has been pretty much in line with what I've expected with this phone. Pretty much a full day of usage and a little bit more than that, depending on how you're using it. Heavy usage will tank it in a day, just like most other flagships. If you're a heavy user, using camera, 4K, all that stuff, power using, this is a one-day phone, just like before. But the phone definitely, just in video playback, can last a really long time with the battery. So if you're looking for a strong battery life at 5,000 milliamp, it's pretty good. I will say that the S24 Ultra was also very good. But I would like to see Samsung improve the size of this in the future. Maybe go to a new battery technology. I want to see like 5,500, 6,000 milliamp hour battery on the next version. I think it would enhance it even more. But at least they're doing very good with this phone right here. We're getting a full day and then some. So I don't think it's going to be a problem for the buyer of this phone, like the battery life. That's what I think so far about this. A few days later, the main camera on here has been amazing. Amazing in terms of the versatility that you would expect from Samsung. All the pro features on here, including the ability to shoot log video, which you can actually color grade within the gallery. Yeah, you can do some pro level stuff with this very easily. Log video and then color grading. In addition to that, with the audio eraser, you can get audio that would rival microphones with dead cats on them. That is amazing. Over here, if we go to Expert RAW, you can do even more. You want to get a little bit more in depth. You can do JPEGs in here as well. RAW modes. You can get really fine tuned with the Expert RAW mode. So the list goes on and on. You got night sky, long exposures. I mean, you want a pro camera feature set, this is the phone you want. This thing has an incredible amount of features, and they do it in a way that still is very simple. They've actually simplified the camera, putting all the settings in that one bar right down there, bringing it down closer to your thumb. If we go on the settings, there's a lot more settings you can take a look at as well. But overall, I gotta say, it still has those typical Samsung looking results. Like they're a little bit softer sometimes, a little bit like they're not like over sharpened all the time. So that's good. You also don't have, like, I say the tones of the pictures to me so far don't look very warm. They look a little bit more on the cooler side, like the temperature, maybe somewhere in the middle as well. They're not like overly warm, but I kind of like that. Let's go over here. Looking at the front facing camera, this is not the highest megapixel out there, but somehow it still performs very well, and you could back it out quite a bit. Also, the video quality on the front can hit 4K 60, so that is definitely a higher end version of the kind of video you would expect. So on the whole, while some people aren't looking the looks of the camera, it is definitely a superb performer. And I'll go ahead and show you some samples in my upcoming review, so stay tuned and stay subscribed for that. But a few days later, I gotta say, they're definitely a win. I would definitely not be disappointed with these right here. They're probably not going to be the best all year long because there's probably going to be some competitors coming out. We'll see what happens. But definitely they're standing at the top of the game when it comes to overall usability. So I do definitely think it's worth it for the camera for sure. Audio quality is very loud on this phone as well. It has Dolby Atmos, although I would like to see an IR blaster. We don't have that here on the Samsung phone. I think a lot of people who have a Samsung phone would like an IR blaster to turn on their Samsung TV. Do you agree? I personally would like to see that. It would be a nice enhancement to this phone right here. Connectivity has been also very good. Very strong signal strength as expected with Samsung devices. They've been doing that area good for a while. And again, the color options to me are not very zingy here on the Galaxy S25 Ultra, but they were inspired by nature, so they have more of a toned down, calming look, if you will. The jade green, the silver blue, they're a little bit more calm. They're not very in your face, super bright. So if you like that style, you might really like these colors here. So wrapping this few days later review up here, I will be going more extensive in detail about things soon. I want to get more photos. I actually have about 30 photos already. I'd want to share those later. I'm going to get a little bit more. I want to get a little bit more extensive battery testing before the full review. But I got to say, so far, I think they've nailed it again in terms of having a really nice option in the marketplace, and definitely one of the best out there. The ultrasonic allows you to get in here very fast. You have reduced bezels, incredible performance with the 8 Elite chipset on board, as you've been seeing in my speed tests. Really, really good camera. It's on board, especially with all the versatility, and easier to hold, more comfortable to hold than ever before, with a suite of AI features that puts it at the top of the market when it comes to AI feature set. Plus, of course, because it's a Galaxy S25 Ultra, there's going to be tons of accessories available for this phone. Overall, it is a top-level phone. Once again, whether you like the changes or not, you can't argue with the specs. They're there. Oh, they are definitely there. This is definitely playing at the top of the market once again. Now, whether you like its looks or not is very subjective to you, but definitely, I will say, I definitely going to recommend this one once again, especially if you don't care about the fact that the S Pen doesn't have a few Bluetooth features. So other than that, this is definitely at the top of the game. Once again, that's my few days later thoughts. Those are my honest thoughts. So thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And stay tuned for more content on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. S25 and S25 Plus are coming later as well. So you might want to be subscribed for those if you're waiting for those. And I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here. And be sure to be well. And peace.